All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start our laws of motion. We're going to start with lesson one, which is all about gravity and friction. So some of the key concepts we're going to learn are what are some contact forces and some non-contact forces. We're going to talk about the law of universal gravitation, and we're going to talk about how friction affects the motion of two objects sliding past each other. Okay, so you're going to be writing some vocabulary down, some new words. Some of these words you've heard before, possibly, but we're going to go a little more in depth with them so you have a really good knowledge of their understanding. So these are the few words we're going to have. I know it seems like a lot, but you can do it, okay? Pause when you need to, rewind, get reclarification. All right, so the first word you have here is
force. A push or a pull on an object.
So push or pull an object's force. So an object or a person can apply a force to another object or a person. Okay? This comes from the Latin word fortis, which means strong. So you're applying force all the time when you're pushing or pulling on an object. Now you have a couple types of force. This is one of the main ones.
Contact force. A push or a pull on one object by another object that is touching it.
Okay, so when you pull your chair out, you're using a contact force to touch it. When you push your chair in, that is a contact force. When you give a friend a high five and you feel your hand go back, that's because there was a push or a pull on something. When you play tug of war, you feel that pull. That's a contact force. Now, what's the opposite of a contact force? Well, you have this.
Non-contact force. A force that one object applies to another object without touching it.
Now, can you think of any examples of things that can push or pull without touching? Well, here are some examples. We have gravity. Now, the Earth doesn't come up and just grab you, okay? There's a attractive force, a non-contact force, that keeps you to the ground, okay? Magnets are another one of these non-contact forces. I can take a magnet and pull on, let's say, a paper clip. Now, eventually the paper clip might attach to the magnet, but you can see, you've done magnets before, they're not coming over and grabbing it. There's a magnetic force. If you've ever used a balloon to rub your friend's hair and you hold it above their hair and their hair sticks all over the place, that is a non-contact force, static electricity. Okay, so those are three non-contact forces. Now, what are some contact forces and non-contact forces? Think about it now. I just told you. Remember, if you push or pull on something, you're directly touching it. That's a contact force. A non-contact force is something that doesn't touch, like static electricity, gravity, or magnetism. Now, what is gravity?
Gravity. An attractive force that exists between all objects that have mass.
Okay, so it's an attractive force. If you have mass, like the Earth has mass, there's a gravitational attraction to one another. Objects fall to the ground because the Earth exerts gravity on them. Okay, the bigger you are, the harder they fall, they say. Now, your mass, well, here's another word.
Mass. The amount of matter in an object.
Okay, this is measured in kilograms. And we're going to talk about what happens when you change the mass in gravitational attraction. Now, if you look at these two different sides, we can say they're planets, they could be marbles, it really doesn't matter. These objects here, as you change the size, you can see these arrows here. Okay, the bigger the arrow, the more gravitational attraction there is. Okay, right here, the bigger ones have the longest arrows. That means they have the most gravitational attraction. The larger the mass, the more attraction. Now, also, the closer you are, the more gravitational attraction you have. As you get farther away, gravity doesn't pull on you as much. All right. So arrows can be used to show both the strength and direction of a force. Now, Isaac Newton developed the law of universal gravitation in the 1600s. If I was in England, they'd want me to call him sir. The law of universal gravitation states that all objects are attracted to each other by a gravitational force. So it doesn't matter how big or small, gravity is pulling on you and you're pulling on other stuff because you have mass, you have gravity. Now, what is the law of universal gravitation again? This is that all objects with mass have gravity. Okay, they pull on each other with a non-contact force. Now, the strength of the force really depends on the mass of each object and the distance between them. So if you look at this graph here, what happens? As you're closer in distance, the force is higher. As you get farther away, the force gets lower. There's still a gravitational force, but it's very, very small the farther you get. Just think about this. Jupiter right now has a gravitational force pulling on you, but it's so far away you would never recognize it, okay? So the mass of one object increases, gravitational force also increases. The bigger the objects are, the more gravity will pull on each other. Now,
Weight. The gravitational force exerted on an object.
Now, this is similar to mass, but this is how we measure how much gravity's pulling on you. Remember we said mass and weight are different. If you're near the Earth's surface, an object's weight is the gravitational force exerted on the object by the Earth. Because weight is a force, we measure that in newtons. Now, your weight will increase when you're on a larger celestial body. So right now you're on Earth, your weight, you could kind of step on a scale and you'll find out how much Earth is pulling on you. If you go to the moon, we say you weigh less. Now, why is that? The moon is smaller, okay? So it doesn't have as much gravity. If you went to Jupiter, you would weigh more because you know Jupiter's a lot larger. Now, an object's weight is proportional to its mass. The more mass you have, the more you're going to weigh, okay? I weigh less than a car, but a lot of kids weigh less than me because I'm a lot larger than them. My mass is more. When you're near the Earth's surface, the weight of an object in newtons is about 10 times its mass in kilograms. So we'll talk about that later. Now, here's our next word.
Friction. A contact force that resists the sliding motion of two surfaces that are touching.
Okay, so friction happens like when you rub your hands together and you feel that warmth. Okay, that's because of friction. Now, there are three types of friction we're going to really concentrate on. One of them is static friction. We have sliding friction. And we have fluid friction, and you're going to have to know the difference between the three. Okay? So static. Science uses as a rest or having no motion, where common use is noise or produced in a radio or television. Static friction prevents when friend surfaces from sliding past each other. Okay? If you're just sitting here, you're not going to slide past because there's a static friction going on. Okay? It's harder. Up to a limit, the strength of static friction changes to match the applied force. And sliding friction opposes the motion of surfaces sliding past each other. So here's an example. If I'm just sitting in a chair, it's going to take more force for you to start pushing me. Once you start pushing me, it's going to be tough, but it won't be as tough as that initial push. Static friction is me just sitting here statically, not moving. When you start pushing me, you're going to feel a friction, but it's sliding friction. Okay? Now, fluid friction is the friction between the surface of any fluid, so any material such as water or air, anything that flows. Fluid friction between the surface and the air is called air resistance. Now, if you look up at the sky at night and you see a little shooting star, what's happening is that rock is coming into our atmosphere, and there's friction from the air rubbing against the rock. Sometimes it'll start on fire. You'll see a nice light in the sky, and it disintegrates the rock. Okay, it's a little asteroid, but it goes away. Because the fluid friction rubs it away, it causes heat. So, what causes friction between surfaces? You have these microscopic dips and bumps on one surface, and it catches the microscopic dips and bumps on the other. This is a source of friction. Okay, so you have tiny microscopic dips. When I rub my hands together, those microscopic dips and bumps are grabbing on each other, and it creates heat. So how does friction affect the motion of two objects sliding past each other? Well, friction prevents objects from sliding past each other. Okay. Now, you have lubricants that can reduce friction. This happens because they fill in these microscopic dips and bumps. If you put lotion on your hands and do this, you won't feel as much of a resistance, okay? If you're ice skating or you run across the ice, you'll be able to slide across because there's not as much friction as if you tried it on a carpet because there's not as many dips and bumps. So our summary that you're going to write on the back of your sheet. Forces can be either contact, such as a karate chop, wah! Or non-contact, such as gravity, each described by its strength and direction. Gravity is an attractive force that acts between any two objects that have mass. The attraction is stronger for objects with greater mass. And friction can reduce the speed of objects sliding past each other. Air resistance is a type of fluid friction that slows the speed of a falling object, like I said about the asteroid. So let's go through our review. Oh, it went too fast. Which refers to gravitational force exerted by an object. Well, you should have saw that. That is weight. Okay? Weight is your gravity pulling you down. What is proportional to an object's weight? Which one of these? Mass. Which is a force that opposes movement between two touching surfaces? Okay, what opposes it? Keyword friction. Okay, so what do you think? You pull on objects around you with the force of gravity? Yeah, anything with mass. That's the law of universal gravitation. Friction can act between two unmoving touching surfaces? Yes, it can. It's called static friction. That's why I'm sitting here, because there's friction holding me, not sliding me around this room right now. All right, what I need you to do is to make sure you pause, go back, rewind, and play anything else you need to hear again. Make sure you got all the words and your summary. Take the practice quiz to see how you do, and go ahead and explore any other videos or anything else that I've given you for directions. And I hope this helped. Have a great night or day.